incredible honor to stand before you tonight at the Day One Gala, a space where courage is not just celebrated, but lived and embodied. 2 years ago, I stood here as the recipient of the Voice of Courage Award, humbled by the weight of what it means to speak your truth, especially in a world that often celebrates silence. Tonight, I have the immense privilege of passing the baton and introducing a woman who knows that same weight and carries it with grace, grit, and unshakable purpose. My friend and client, Katie Wee, is an actress, an advocate, and soon-to-be first-time mother of a little girl. She is someone who has chosen not just to survive, but to speak, to stand, and boy, does she shine. Her story is not just courageous, it is catalytic. It wakes people up, it makes them think, and it makes them feel. And most importantly, it reminds others, especially those who have been hurt, silenced, or overlooked, that they are not alone and that there can be deep happiness on the other side of pain. Katie's story is proof that telling the truth is not easy, but it is powerful. And when that truth is spoken out loud, unapologetically, in the pursuit of justice and change for the better, it has the power to move mountains. Please join me in welcoming my friend, the Day One 2025 Voice of Courage Award recipient, Katie Wee.
Thank you, Sarah. That was so beautiful. Wow. It's an honor to be with all of you tonight, and it's a tremendous honor to receive the Voice of Courage Award. I'm also incredibly proud to share the stage with so many other incredible people tonight. Thank you to everyone who's been up here and for the work you do. I'm so happy to be here with my husband, the love of my life, and like Sarah said, we're getting ready to welcome in the new love of our lives very soon, so we are excited. Love, thank you. Love is the most beautiful thing in the world. It's what makes things meaningful. Love makes the world go round. It's the lifeblood of everything good in the world, and it's our own inherent nature. My life's work has been returning to that inherent nature after love was weaponized against me. When I was a little girl, 12 years old, love was used as a means of force, coercion, abuse, and control. Under the name of love, I had to live a life that felt out of alignment, unsafe, and unhappy. That sadness, that heaviness, that shame carried with me for so much of my life. When I was 27, I finally started to realize that it maybe wasn't my fault, and that I didn't have to carry that shame. I came forward to the police about what had happened to me, and after a grueling 4-year process that involved a mistrial, eventually our abuser was incarcerated. More young women had come forward, and he had been abusing up until the night before he was arrested. During the case, the defense attorney asked me if I'd been in love with my abuser, as if that mattered in a case with a 12-year-old girl and a 37-year-old man. My answer made me sad, because what I said was, well, every time he said it to me, I said it back, because I was a kid and I didn't know any other response to the words, "I love you." But I realized that that relationship with love, one where love makes you have to sacrifice your own needs, where love means you give but don't receive, where love means you're not okay, but the other person is. That had become the way that I'd begun to think of love. I had equated love with unsafe love and had manifested into my life relationships that match that. Romantic, friend relationships, work relationships, always times where I felt like I was suffering, like I wasn't okay, but that was just what it was. And after my abuser was incarcerated, I started to feel like maybe I was getting a little wink from the universe, like things were kind of going my way for a change, and like maybe I could be happy. I decided I really wanted to be happy, but I'd spent way too much of my life living unhappily, with depression, with anxiety, with PTSD, feeling like my life had gone from a technicolor world of a little kid to a grayed out reality for my teens, 20s, and early 30s. I started to vigilantly pursue my own healing. I started to become happy like it was my job, healing my mind, my body, my soul, in all of the ways that I needed to so that I could live the life I really came here for. This work wasn't easy. It was especially challenging to learn how to rewire my mindset to view safe love as good, as possible, as something I was worthy of. And as I started to do this work, the most miraculous things happened. I met my husband, and I became compelled with this feeling like I absolutely had to share what I'd learned about healing with the rest of the world, knowing that so many people, 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys before they're 18 years old go through childhood sexual abuse. And the numbers are likely much higher. And not just big T trauma, but everyone out there is going through some type of trauma. And that trauma impacts the way we think, that trauma impacts the way we feel, that trauma impacts the way we expect our life to go, and then the way our life goes. And to me, it didn't feel right to think that trauma should take a life from me that I deserved, or anyone else. As I created my business, speaking, leading retreats, mindset coaching, I started to feel the impact of how changing other people's lives in the ways that I had needed to change my own, how good it felt, and how much I fell back in love with life, something I hadn't felt in a long time. My life went back into Technicolor, with love, with purpose, with happiness. And I'm so grateful for where I stand today. I truly am so blessed. But most survivors and victims of intimate partner violence do not experience that. That is not the norm. Most survivors or victims suffer in shame, in silence. Most people do not have the resources or the ability to come forward, or the foundation, like I did, of healthy love with my family to come back to. That is why the work that Day One does to help make love safe again is so deeply important. Through advocacy. Yeah. Through education, legal advocacy, and counseling, Day One helps to interrupt cycles of abuse, ending them and making it possible for people to have healthier, safer futures. This work is so deeply important. Love is the most sacred thing in the world, and it deserves to be nurtured and honored. So thank you so much for this incredible award, but more importantly, thank you to Day One for the work you do, and for all of you for doing your part to make love safe again. As one of us heals, we all heal. And as we create a world where love can be safe, we make a safer, better world for future generations. Thank you so much.
Katie, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story so openly and so freely with all of us. Your warmth, your candor feel like a radiant beacon, guiding all of us to live our lives with that rare mix of strength and vulnerability that you just put on full display. We're so grateful. I'm so grateful that you were able to be here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we near the end of this really